Live from the Rock Network studios in Rochester, New York, it's your Rochester Sports Show. Rochester Sports Mumblings, presented by Salvatore's Old Fashioned Pizzeria and the Rochester Razor Sharks. With your host, Matt Goldman, John Cargill, and presently not here, Mark American Dreams Sotile. And here's your host, Matt Goldman.
Oh, thank you, John.
Yeah, where's Rudolph?
Yeah, I don't know. I missed Rudolph.
Isn't this his job?
No, we fired.
That's right.
We fired him a long time ago.
Oh well, hopefully I did okay.
It was okay. It's Rock Sports Network Studios in the future.
Isn't that what I said?
You said Rock Network, Rock Network Studios, something like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Rock Sports Network Studios. There we go.
Perfect.
Well,
John, I have a new microphone.
You do.
So hopefully I sound all right.
You do have a new microphone, and I've noticed it looks like that microphone. I don't see some of the old microphones. Oh, there we go. There it is.
Yeah, that one moved over there. At my request, that moved over there. The microphone I've been using for a while. I think this sounds a little better, actually.
Well, the other one didn't really sound bad.
It sounds a little. It's a little tinny, that one. It's a little like old fashioned and tinny.
Whatever happened to that really, really old school brown one whatever happened to that one?
Oh, that one I think was retired at my request because it was so bad. That one was really, really bad.
Yeah, that was I did like when people would come in and be like looking like, really? Like our who was that? Came in early on. Who was that?
I don't know what I have no idea what you're talking about.
Remember when we had someone come there like, oh no, it was the Chamber Boys.
Oh, the Chamber Boys.
When they were just staring at the mic like, what is this? But anyways, we did have a pretty awesome sports week.
Amazing Rochester sports weekend,
and
we have a really, really jam-packed show today for you. Of course, we're recording in the afternoon.
Yeah,
these a little different.
These afternoon shows are kind of different. It's kind of weird to get used to. We have
it's
the
a different, yeah.
No one's in the
different
studio.
Atmosphere.
I mean, we don't have
no one's even like anywhere in here. There's some people in the tax office across the hallway. That's about it.
Doing their taxes.
Yeah, it is still tax season. But we have some great guests for you today. 2:15, if you are listening live, Bob Lilley, the coach of the Rhinos, is calling in. And then 2:30, Wayne Wilson, the coach of the RIT men's hockey Tigers, who are on their way to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2010. He is going to be calling us at 2:30, and we will also be catching up with our old friend Dominic.
Good old pal of the show.
Dominic Scicluna, who is the coach of Team Canada in the Arena Soccer World Cup, which is going on right now, and I think they're playing tomorrow night in Michigan. So we're going to catch up with Dominic. I don't really understand why he's coaching Canada.
Well,
because I think he's American.
I believe he's American as well, but we all know that nationality doesn't really transpire to coaches. I mean, we all know famously, United States, Jurgen Klinsmann.
Sure.
So I mean, it makes just as much sense as about anything else.
I always thought that you should be of the nationality of the country that you're coaching. Just me.
That's a debate, too. I mean, that's a debate in international soccer. Just like how you can have naturalized players play. I mean, that's a debate as well. So,
meaning like guys that aren't actually born in the country, but maybe their mom or dad was from the country.
Yeah,
right?
And that's been a debate for a very long time in international soccer. It's widely accepted, but it's been debated. And there are some teams that, frown upon it and don't do it, and there are other teams that do it a lot. And I think that's the same thing with coaching. I mean, some teams frown upon it, but it's a widely accepted practice.
And, I mean, I guess good for Dominic, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was probably no spots to coach Team USA, I'm guessing.
Do you know who's coaching Team USA?
I don't know, but our own Joey Capinos
is
the goalkeeper for USA.
Which is
and
big
tonight,
hats off to Joey Capinos.
At the Blue Cross Arena, Brazil takes on Russia.
With our very own Mauricio Salas. So go out and support Mauricio if you have a chance to.
Tickets just $15. Pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal to see
world-class
soccer.
Or as it's officially called, mini football.
Yeah. I find a lot of humor in that name.
Mini football.
Mini football.
But yeah, I guess that's what it's known as internationally, is mini football.
I guess that makes sense. However, I am interested to see the comparison between mini football and futsal.
Huge difference. I
Oh,
mean,
there's no boards in futsal.
right.
But
Mini football is arena soccer.
mhm.
It's just the international name for it. But yeah, of course, futsal is played on basically a basketball court.
Smaller ball. It's a size 3 ball, I believe.
Is it size 3?
I believe it's size
And
3.
it's weighted.
Mm-hmm.
It's weighted. So as to try to make it stay on the court and not go out of bounds, because it's a very, very small court.
Oh yeah, I've actually never seen futsal being played.
I've seen it on television a few times, and it's pretty interesting. It's very you know what I like better than futsal is beach soccer.
Oh yeah,
I really like beach soccer, and it's the same kind of thing. I think it's also 5-on-5 like futsal, 4-on-4 plus a keeper, and you know in beach soccer when they have a free kick, they pile up snow. Or sand, I mean.
Beach winter
That's
soccer.
That's not a bad idea, though.
Snow soccer.
Snow soccer. International snow soccer.
Well, you said they pile up sand?
They pile up sand and then put the ball on top of that.
That's a good idea.
To take the free kick.
I think that beach soccer is definitely an interesting concept. The only experience I have with it was the beach soccer tournaments that Scotty Valo puts on.
All right, we're now joined by the head coach of the Rhinos, the Rochester Rhinos, Bob Lilley. Bob, thank you so much for taking the time out to call us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. So preseason just about wrapping up here. As far as matches went, you guys went 3-0-2. Looked really good in the last game against Syracuse University. How happy were you with the preseason games?
I'm real happy. I mean, we played a lot of trialists. We were still looking at players. It's not a coincidence that we look so strong against Ottawa and Syracuse. Those are two games where we played, more of our regular guys and the guys we knew we were going to sign. So, the other games we needed to look at players to make final decisions, but I think the team's in good form, and we're excited about the group we have for this year.
Now, not a lot of players returning from last year. It looks like only 5 or 6 guys, or six guys returning?
No, we had seven. Actually 8 players.
Okay.
8 players are on the roster from last year.
And all the as far as like the new guys coming in, as far as I've seen it, we haven't really seen a lot of the signings released yet. Can you tell us some names of some of the new guys?
Yeah, we're in good shape. We made a lot of decisions after we played Cornell, which was our 4th preseason game. We played Cornell and on the 14th. Or actually the 15th, and we played Ottawa on the 13th. So after that weekend, we made 8 signings. Obviously, some of them are foreign. We have to get their P1 visas in order, their international clearance. We expect all those guys to be ready for this weekend. And then after the Syracuse game, we've signed an additional 3 players. So, we had 10 signed. That put us to 21 just in the last week, basically. Now they're pending approval from the league. We're at 21 guys once all those contracts go through, and we're expecting 2 players from New England at the start of the season, which puts our roster at 23.
Now that's interesting because from what I read, I thought that the affiliation with New England, they were going to try to supply more players. It sounds like there's going to be less than last year.
Well, I think, that's a fluid situation. Obviously the collective bargaining agreement changes dynamics. Last year they had a roster of 30. This year they have a senior roster of 28. And they have some injuries now. We do have 2 that are expected to be here shortly. But there's a number of players on our roster that came from our affiliation, players that New England was aware of, sent to us to look at in tryouts, combine. Doesn't mean all of them were under contract and loaned to us, but there is an influence from New England in terms of our overall roster.
So, Bob, obviously you must be really proud of John McCarthy making the jump straight to MLS after having an incredible rookie season last year in USL Pro. How does it feel to see a guy like that make it to the big leagues?
Well, we're excited for John. He had a very good year for us. We had a good year, and we brought a core back. Obviously, it's tough to lose John in goal, but, Brandon Miller's been here a few years now, and we were very high on Brandon last year. And I think he's going to contribute a lot this year. And Sean Murdoch is a goalkeeper that's played for Hibernian in Scotland's Premier League. So,
John, about Scotland, right?
I do.
We are reloading at that position. We've been lucky in Rochester. There's been a number of big-time goalkeepers in Rochester through the years. So hopefully we'll get good goaltending again this year from our goalkeepers.
So it sounds like is Murdoch kind of slated to be the starter as of now?
They're competing, and Brandon is, they're both capable. I feel like last year we had 3 keepers, and we liked all of them. And I think we're in the same spot. The kid, Adam Grinwitz, that we're signing right now is from the University of Michigan, a very good young goalkeeper. He's going to have to pay his dues a little bit to start here, but he's pushing, and I think Brandon Miller is ready to play games in this league, and I think Murdoch is coming, obviously, to try and have a big season and hopefully open some eyes in MLS as well. So, we have competition there, and that's what we're looking for.
So, Bob, I'm wondering this. Today, you guys practiced. The wind chill was 8 degrees, I think, when you guys were practicing. You got guys from Senegal. You got guys from Florida, Texas. How does this affect your team training in such brutal cold?
Well, the wind affects more than anything. Once they're warmed up, these guys. Well, that's why we're even last year rebuilding. We made the playoffs, and we try to build the mentality. If you can train in Rochester at this time of year,
you can do anything, right?
Extra.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I guess
that's true.
They're
that's
out
true.
there. The wind sometimes makes it difficult, And the first 2 weeks we were indoors because we still had all that snow.
Yeah.
But for the last 10 days, we've been primarily we've been outside, and we even played a couple of those early preseason games in some really brutal weather. So the guys are adjusting. They're looking forward to. The summers in Rochester are beautiful. The winters are a bit harsh. I wish it would just clear out and let us enjoy, the coming months here. But
yeah,
we're used to it, and we tell them when players come in, these are the conditions right now. We need to get work done, and they put their head down, and they're hungry for the season. So, they want to be out there. They want to be working and gelling as a team. And hopefully we bring them together. A big game this weekend on Saturday at New York Red Bull.
So talk about the season opener coming up Saturday, 2 p.m. at Red Bull Arena. It's got to be exciting, I'm guessing, to get to play in an MLS stadium, a regular season game like that. I saw they have like a 17-year-old superstar. Am I right?
Yeah, through their academy, they have a number of players that are on youth national teams, and they'll bring in, guys that, every week those MLS rosters, they're not all going to play in the first team game. So, if you have 3 subs in an MLS first team game, that's 14 players used. There's another 14 players on that senior roster that you could get some very capable players 15 through 22 are probably all top flight players for our league. Now, you go to the bottom of their rosters, they'll have college guys, young guys like us, but early in the season especially, the MLS teams usually are going to be fairly healthy. They don't have international call-ups. So I would expect the team we play against New York on Saturday will be quite capable. They'll have some experienced, talented guys, and then also some very, very interesting youngsters that should make their mark as the years come. Hopefully, what we do collectively. I mean, last year we had to go into L.A. Against the Galaxy in the regular season, and we beat them 2-1, at the Home Depot Center. In playoffs, unfortunately, we lost 2-1, but that was a winnable game as well. So, yeah, it'll be a stiff challenge, but, we feel like our team is stronger than last year overall depth-wise, and we definitely feel we have more punch in the lineup. I mean, we're creating more chances and look more explosive. So, we're excited to get started. I think it's a talented group, and I think that the chemistry of the guys is good, and they've pulled together, and I think they're excited to get started as well.
Hey, Bob, if I remember correctly, you guys were statistically the best defensive club in USL last year. Is that something you're looking to continue with the addition of more offense? Or is it going to be kind of the same defensive mentality overall?
Well, I think every year, coaches, most of us we're not trying to win 4-3, and we're not trying to win 1-0. We're trying to win 4-0. So, we want to score goals. Obviously, defending is a team thing, and you're not going to get multiple goals every game, and you're not going to win if you don't also have it right on the defensive end. So we can't let that slide. But certainly we expect to score more goals this year. And I think the group, we brought a core that has good work habits, good mentality, and kind of knows the system. So, I don't think we're going to be easy to play against either. And I think we're going to just hurt teams on a more frequent basis. Last year there were some games we dominated and possession. Didn't give up any chances, created a number, and couldn't find a way to score goals. And those games ended in ties, or even occasionally we dropped points giving up a late counterattack goal. So I think for us, we can't turn a blind eye on the defensive side. But I think with the personnel, we're definitely going to be more attack-minded and certainly be able to score more goals than we did last year. And as a coach defensively, it's still our job to make it as hard as we can for the opposition.
One thing I loved about the team last year offensively was you guys scored a lot of goals either on the counterattack or right off of the kickoff, which I thought was really cool. There were a couple times when Dixon either scored or combined on some goals like 8 or 10 seconds after a kickoff, which seemed to catch teams sleeping.
You must have been at all the right games. It didn't happen as often as I'd like, but there were a few times where we got off to good starts. But we just want to be more consistent at the offensive end. And certainly Dixon is a weapon and a lot of pace, and we're just hoping for him that we've talked about. He's got all the tools. He's been in MLS. We're just working on his consistency where he's bringing that danger game in and game out.
Bob, real quick, we got to let you go soon, but the USL expanding from 14 to 24 teams, what are your thoughts on the growth of the league? Is it healthy to have this much expansion? What do you think about all the new, especially the new MLS 2 sites?
I think the good sign is the expansion is not just MLS teams. There's a number of other cities like Colorado, Louisville, Austin that also have come into the league. I was excited that you're going to have more of a national footprint, but also, I'm excited now that, I worried, okay, a lot more teams, a lot more competition for players. But if I'm going based on our roster compared to last year, I feel like the added teams and the dispersion of players has not affected us. So either we've done a really good job putting a team together, or, the league is ready to, add these teams and give more jobs and get guys playing, get them opportunities to really push soccer forward in this country.
Well, it certainly is exciting. I think it's great. The one thing that I wish is that there would be more inter-conference play. Excuse me. I wish you guys got to travel to the West Coast this year. It was exciting to see you guys play at L.A. and Sacramento last year, but maybe that's something that'll happen in the future. Bob,
I think those are all things the league's looking at. Obviously, for us, the thing we're excited about is having Montreal, Toronto, and Red Bull on our schedule. Those are Northeast MLS teams, and old days, Montreal and Rochester was a great rivalry.
Yep.
So, we're and hopefully we're going to play someone from the other side if we get to the end in the playoffs, and that's the goal.
Thank you so much for calling in today. We'd love to have you on later in the year as well, and good luck Saturday, 2 p.m. at Red Bull Arena, Rhinos at Red Bull 2.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yep. All right. That was Bob Lilley, coach of the Rhinos, and we go from one coach to another coach. Wayne Wilson, coach of RIT men's hockey. Wow, what an exciting weekend. You still got to be on a high, I'm guessing. Just amazing stuff at the Blue Cross Arena. Semifinals, RIT beating Canisius 2-1, and then the finals, just a whopping Mercyhurst 5-1 at the Blue Cross Arena. Your second NCAA tournament berth, first since 2010, facing the number 1 seeded Minnesota State at South Bend, Indiana, 4 p.m. Saturday, live on ESPNU. Wayne, just tell me, what are you feeling right now? Is it you got to be excited?
Yeah, it feels good, that's for sure. And the games this weekend certainly weren't easy. A tight one Friday, and I know you said whopping Saturday, but we didn't get it was 2-1.
That's true. There were 2 late goals there, yeah.
Yeah, so, they weren't letting me breathe easy till the very end of the second night. But, yeah, when everything, is on the line as far as going to the NCAA, knowing that you're not going to get an automatic bid unless you win the tournament, that really heightens your senses. The guys were excited and ready, and they competed extremely hard all weekend. I'm really proud of the players and the efforts that they put in, and really the stretch run the second half, and they worked real hard for this, and the reward is the NCAA's. And unfortunately, the reward is, as you mentioned, the number 1 seed overall. We don't get anything easy, but that's fine. We've been through it before with the number 1 seed, so we hope to duplicate or even write our own story this year.
Now, you guys are huge underdogs. I was looking at, if you just going by the USCHO rankings, Minnesota State is number 1. We've got North Dakota number 2, Boston number 3, Minnesota number 4, Denver number 5, going down to Providence and Quinnipiac at 14th, and then dropping to RIT ranked 38th in the country, and you guys were able to win the Atlantic Hockey Tournament. No one really expected it. So, yeah, you guys are huge underdogs.
Yeah, for our own tournament, now that's the pairwise what you're looking at. So, ranking as far as what coaches and media think, we're actually ranked 21st right now.
Okay.
But no, with the other rankings, it's pairwise. And what happens is our league isn't as strong as some of the other leagues, and there's not much we can do about that. So our strength of schedule really kind of brings us down, but and that's in league games it brings us down. Our non-conference, though, we we played Minnesota and lost in overtime, and they won the Big Ten. We played St. Lawrence, who finished second in the ECAC. Yale was third. Boston College was second. So we've played some tough teams. We haven't won them all, but I think we're a much different team now than when our non-conference games always fall in the first half of the season. The second half of the season, with the development really of our three freshman defensemen in particular, and everyone develops during the course of the year, but our freshman defensemen, when you take on Boston College like your second or third game into the year, it's a lot different than playing someone of that caliber once you've got 38 games under the belt. And so I think we're a much different team because of that, and because we had to play so many young guys back on defense. There was a lot of room for growth, and if we were a veteran team, we would have probably what you saw at halfway mark was what you got. But we were able to continue to improve, and we're looking to improve from last weekend to this weekend. I think in the 5 extra practices we get, we're hoping to get better and give them a run. We're very confident in ourselves. We are also very respectful of who we're playing, and now we've got to play the game.
Wayne, I just realized that you played against your son. Stu plays for Yale, right?
Yeah.
So you already got to play against him in the regular season, and who knows, you could end up playing him late in the tournament.
Well, I'd like to do a couple things. Obviously, starting with the Minnesota State, because you don't get to do anything after that if you don't win.
Right.
And then maybe tackle on their old nemesis, Harvard, and do him a favor and knock them out. And then maybe get to play him. And then I get the chance of my bragging rights because I've lost them temporarily. And he's only got one more year after this, so I don't have much time to make up for that loss. They're not on the schedule, so the only way is going to be in the NCAAs. But yeah, our focus has got to be on, and I'm hoping the best for them, obviously. But our focus is all on Minnesota State, and we've got our hands full. But we really are looking forward to this challenge, and we're not going to shy away from it in any fashion. So we're going to go at them with our best, lead with our best punch, so to speak, and we'll see what happens.
So it looks like they've got some goal scorers. Bryce Gervais, 27 goals, 36 points. Goaltending looks pretty solid, too. Stephen Williams played 34 games this year, 1.64 goals against average, so they look pretty strong overall.
Yeah, we're just watching tape here today on them, and I think, one, they don't give up a lot of shots, so defensively they're very sound. If you do get shots, they've got a very good goalie. And they've got great balance. I don't know if they have a dynamic player that really stands out for them. They have a lot of very good hockey players, and I think that's really the mark of their why they've had so much success. Great depth, excel on the defensive side, and strong goaltending. So it's a good formula for them. And I think, though, that we bring a lot of the same characteristics. And the one thing I like about their team watching was they really get after things. They don't sit back, and there's no gimmicks with their team. They come right at you, and so I think it's going to be a great hockey game, and because that's how we like to play as well. We're going to come after them, and we'll see what happens from there.
So obviously you're no stranger to the NCAA tournament. You won it, and you won the championship as the captain of the 1984 Bowling Green Falcons, and you were here with RIT in 2010. How does this team this year compare to that 2010 team that made it all the way to the Frozen Four?
Well, a little bit different. I think our number one line is a little bit more dynamic than it was in 2010. We probably had a little bit more scoring depth on that. So, we're certainly hoping our top line can keep producing. Our goaltending has been very timely. I think we're maybe a little bit better defensively. So I think we probably trade a little bit of the offense for the defense. We've just been very sound defensively all year. The 2010 team, our power play was what really excelled. Our penalty killing was good. This year, our penalty killing is what really excels, and our power play has been good. So we're a stronger penalty killing team than we were in 2010, but we had a better power play back then. So there are differences, and this team just has to be ready to write their kind of own script. But successful teams find different ways to win games, and that's this team's been able to do that as well. So they'll face some adversity, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Talk about your top line, the MGM line. I mean, man, I think it was the third goal on Saturday night. Just unbelievable give and go. Just beautiful, beautiful passing. Love watching that line work together.
Yeah, they're very, very unselfish. They contribute in all their own ways. I mean, Garbowski maybe stirs the drink a little bit for that line where he starts it with winning faceoffs, and then they go to work from there. But they've all had turns of having just outstanding weekends, and they've all played very well. But yeah, that goal in particular, in the game, I'm telling the first guy, shoot it. Then he makes the pass over to Garbowski. So it goes McGowan to Garbowski, and now saying shoot the puck, and then he makes another pass to Mitchell, and then he just puts it in the empty net. So they made it certainly look easy. I think it was screaming shoot a couple times before it actually went in the net. But they do really, they're unselfish, and I think that leads to their success. They enjoy playing with each other, and they enjoy being with each other off the ice. So they've just got a lot going for themselves, and that's something they push this coaching aside because they're doing it on their own. They're enjoying playing the game. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and I look forward to watching them play against a real good team and see how they match up there as well.
Talk about Matt Garbowski in particular, just taking home all kinds of silverware, the AHA Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, the AHA Tournament MVP, AHA Tournament First Team, Hobey Baker finalist, which is, I think it's the first time that RIT's had a Hobey Baker finalist, right?
Well, it's our second.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Lambert was one, and he came as a Division III player back then, and he put up 51 points to 1 year, and that was kind of a surprise. It probably didn't get as much attention as things get these days anyways. It wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough that it just seems like the media attention. But Matt, I think he's the first to really, he's always thankful of his other wingers there with Brad and Josh. And I think what stands out most about Matt is the defensive side. I know he got Defensive Player of the Year, but I think that doesn't get enough recognition. When you've got someone that can put up the numbers he does and is as strong defensively, it's very, very unusual. Most goal scorers or point getters really, they might even cheat to the offensive side and have deficiencies the other way. He's just as strong. I use him in the penalty killing as much as I use him on the power play, and that's very, very unique, and that's what really makes him different than everyone else, because not many coaches are putting their leading scorer up to shut down the other team's top line or top player, and I have that.
That's like youth hockey kind of stuff, almost.
Yeah,
it seems like
very unusual to have that situation happen, and I'm very lucky to have Matt, and he's lucky to have the wingers he has and the supporting cast around him. But everything's been very deserving for him, but we've all benefited from each other's success.
So what's the agenda for this week, Wayne? You guys are heading to Indiana at some point.
Yeah, we're just formulating those plans right now. We think we're probably going to be leaving Thursday. Flights and all that stuff are just getting organized. We had a nice light skate today, no contact anyways, just kind of work up a sweat and kept it somewhat short. We gained an extra day of practice this week, which is sometimes good as well, just to heal some of the wounded and that. And so that's kind of a bit of a break. We're just getting organized with tickets and all that, so that when we leave here, everything's taken care of and we don't have to worry. We're not scrambling for tickets for friends and family and all that stuff. Everything is all taken care of. We go there and we're right in our mindset or game mode, so to speak, when we get there and really prepare there. And we'll know we're watching video now, so after tomorrow we'll have that all right down to what we need, and we go from there.
I know it's a bit of a trip for Rochester fans. Unfortunately, I know it was a little bit easier in 2010. You guys were playing right down the road in Albany, but it would be nice to see some orange in the arena on ESPNU there.
Yeah, it's funny the emails and texts you get from people that are even out in that area that are going out. I know there's some former players that are going to be heading that way, that they're all excited. So I think we'll surprise people even with in Notre Dame, and it's kind of a cool spot to go to if no one's ever been to Notre Dame. It's a nice attraction, and you never know what kind of spring breakers we might have out there as well. So everyone's looking forward to it, and everything I hear, the rink should be sold out for the weekend, which is nice. It's a smaller venue than Albany and that, but the atmosphere there should be pretty cool, and we're looking forward to it.
And I think they just played a 5 overtime game at Notre Dame as well. Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, they did. And they played against UMass.
Yeah,
Amherst
UMass.
there,
Yeah,
yeah. They worked that ice in pretty good that night.
I know for sure.
That would take forever, I think. That would be a tough one, and they rebounded. So they went to 5 overtimes, lost it, and they came back and won the series. So that put on them as well.
I think they won that game 3-7-0. I think UMass was just pooped after those first 2 days.
Yeah, I think that was the third game.
Yeah.
When they all caved in on them. Yeah.
Well, anyways, such an exciting time, Wayne. Best of luck. We'll all be watching on ESPNU back here in Rochester, and we'll all hope for the best.
Yeah, thank you very much, and we're certainly going to try and make not only RIT but Rochester really proud, and we'll see where we go. Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne, again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. So, yeah, good stuff.
Hey, it can happen.
It could happen. Could happen. You never know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough. Minnesota State is the number 1 team in the country. It's going to be very, very tough, but you never know. In college hockey, crazy things happen. A team that no one I don't know if you remember who won the national championship last year, but it was a small school in New York that I don't think anyone expected to win. John, Union.
Union? Okay,
Union won the national championship. No one even remembers it because they're such a small school.
Yeah. And RT is actually a very big school, and its program is now becoming pretty legitimate. So.
It really is. I mean, this really, really legitimizes RT as a real hockey school.
Me, when you look at, even though RT is a new program and the program's not as big as others, just the size of the school is way bigger than most of the others, like size-wise, student-wise. They have 21,000 students.
Is there that many at RIT?
Yeah, and then when you look at all the other ones, they have 4 or 5 or 6,000.
Yeah,
there's so much bigger.
There's some small ones. I mean, like Holy Cross, AIC.
Holy Cross is small too.
Yeah, I'm saying these are small schools.
But even schools like Notre Dame, they have 8,000 kids.
No, Notre Dame's pretty big. It is. I went there. I didn't go to school there, but I went there to see a game. They have big-time college football.
Well, they do, but I just find it interesting because the names are huge, but the schools are not necessarily as huge as you'd think.
Well, you do have some big schools like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Michigan, Penn State.
But I mean, even Boston College, they have
College,
11,000 students.
Is that it?
Yeah. I mean, these huge names, and then you look at RIT, you don't think, but that's a huge school compared to a lot of them. It's bigger than most.
Well,
so I think we're starting to, live up to that. I think it's going to be a hockey power when it finally settles in.
RIT?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're on their way.
Yeah.
I think they will end up just. This is not going to be their last time in the NCAA tournament. That's for sure.
I really see them as a rising power.
But for this year, in all honesty, they are a huge underdog.
Oh yeah,
huge underdog.
Definitely.
So, but it will be fun to watch. Definitely, I will be watching. Wish I could go. They played amazing this weekend at the Blue Cross Arena. Really, really, just fantastic.
And it's interesting the turnaround too. I mean, the beginning of the season, we definitely didn't think we'd be talking about going to the national championship.
Not at all. We were talking at one point. Why is RIT so frustrating?
Yeah.
Because they start off, they were 11th place in the conference, and they looked terrible.
They just weren't doing well, and then now.
But wow, did they turn it around? They really, really,
and
really
it was just
around.
A legitimate turnaround. It was like a mid-season just snap. It came together.
Garbowski's unbelievable. I didn't realize until really hearing from Wayne how good he is defensively. They put him out on the penalty kill because he's not only their best offensive player, he's their best defensive player as well. He's just their best all-around player.
And he's definitely going to have a pretty bright future going ahead in hockey. It's another thing that's cool too is seeing how many future possibly NHLers we can get, and that's another cool thing.
The guy from Vancouver, Chris Tanev, played for RIT. There was an Amherst recently that played for RIT. Chris Burton or something. I don't know what the first name was, but I think Cameron Burton. Cameron Burton.
Okay,
yeah, he played for RIT. Yeah, and he played for the Amherst, which was pretty cool. It was the first ex-RIT player to play for the Amherst. Speaking of that, Ryan Grimshaw, who played briefly for the Amherst, he also played for Toronto Marlies. Played in Switzerland. He played in Germany. He played everywhere. He retired from hockey.
He wrote an interesting article.
Yeah, did you see that?
I did.
And he posted the picture he posted was really cool. It was him in his Rochester youth hockey Amherst jersey from age 6 or something.
Oh yeah.
And then him in
Mike's.
the real Amherst jersey.
I love that.
AHL.
That was great, and he wrote it almost like a letter to hockey.
Right.
Thanking it for all it's given him, but it was great. That was a great article.
I thought that was pretty cool. All right, John. Why don't you tell us about Leroy Discount Liquor?
Well,
short and
we
sweet.
really have
short and sweet.
We really have no excuses not to go down to the Tops Plaza in Leroy. Get yourself some wine or spirits, $15.99 and under, $5.99 rack, great quality. And if you're looking for some whiskey, he has some new whiskey in. Definitely give Johnny a visit.
All right, we're going to have Dominic Scicluna coming up in just a minute here, talking about the World Mini Football World Cup, a.k.a.
Mini foot.
A.k.a. the Arena Soccer World Cup.
A.k.a. indoor soccer.
Yes. And by the way, John, last night the Ron Newman Cup was won. The MASL Championship was won by
I didn't
El
watch.
Flash de Monterrey.
Oh, wow, I did see that.
You did.
And they said it was possibly the biggest crowd.
It was it was the biggest playoff crowd in the history of the MASL. Okay, so game 1 was Friday night in Baltimore, and Monterey beat Baltimore 6-4. That was multi-point scoring. Okay?
Same score they beat us by.
And then, Sunday in Monterey in Mexico, Baltimore came back and beat Monterey 6-4. Went to the mini game. All right, and with 2 seconds left in the mini game, the Blast tied it. 2 seconds left to send it into a golden goal overtime of the mini game, and the Flash came out on top.
How much more exciting does it get than that?
Look at this. This is a video of the game-winning goal. You can see.
Wow, look at that crowd.
You can see the huge crowd in Monterey.
And listen to the drumming and listen to the atmosphere.
So this is in overtime of the mini game. You hear the Mexicans all excited.
Well, wouldn't you be if this was where we...
Oh, look at the bite.
Wow.
Save. And then the next goal, and the place goes insane.
Wow.
The lights go out.
That is amazingly awesome. That's the kind
of... That looks like a great arena, doesn't it?
Man.
They turn the lights out, put the spotlight on the team as they're celebrating. On the scoreboard, it's saying, goal!
This is great for the league. You know, a lot of people were criticizing the league. A lot of things
Seriously,
but
this Mexico is the best MASL city.
This really
Rochester's
legitimizes the
Rochester's
league.
great, but I think Monterey is the best.
Oh,
and did you notice?
Without a doubt.
Did you notice they were playing Queen We Are the Champions even in Mexico?
Yep.
Which I thought was really cool.
Oh, it was, and not only, you know what I like about Monterey too? Like, we watched other clips from Monterey. We've been doing that all season, and it just seems like the atmosphere
they
is
love
just
their arena soccer.
So great.
Love it. They love it.
It's a party.
They love their mini football.
And I think I think Rochester is a close second to that.
I think so. Baltimore's got to be up there too.
Well, even when you watch,
the crowd in Baltimore for game 1 was huge.
But they're not as into
I think it was
as
about
Monterey or we are.
No, but
Rochester gets
Baltimore
pretty into
seems
it
pretty into it
when they score.
Yeah, in general, I think they were. Yeah, well, they're more of a. I think just a defensive stalwart. Dominic.
Mr.
Yes,
Scicluna.
This is Dominic Scicluna.
We were just talking about. I don't know if you saw the the games 2 and 3 of the Ron Newman Cup last night from Monterrey, Mexico. Wow, that looked really, really exciting, and that crowd was just incredible in Mexico.
Incredible.
Yes, I just left that crowd a week ago. If you were keeping up with what was going on.
Yes, we were. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just literally left that crowd where they were, saying expletives that I'm not allowed to say in Spanish. probably people out there listening that know Spanish.
The P. The only one I know is the P word. That's the only one I was.
Yeah, well,
taught.
let me tell you, I was probably called that P word and told I need to get a haircut probably more times in one quarter than I have in a whole year.
Oh, all right. So Dominic, the MASL season is over, but arena soccer season is not over by a long shot. The World Mini Football, aka Arena Soccer World Cup, is going on, and you are coaching Team Canada. Why are you Canadian? I didn't understand why you're coaching Canada.
Well, let me start by saying, why does United States have a German?
John was saying the exact same thing to me a couple minutes ago.
Okay, let me ask you this: Who coaches Italy? Who coaches?
I don't know.
I mean,
a Swiss
Brazil
guy coaches Italy.
Is it a Swiss guy coaches Italy?
Isn't it?
I don't know.
Well, all I'm saying is this: teams all over the world usually. How about this? Let me go to the point. Is Clark Kent a superhero?
John.
No, he is not.
Do you know who Clark Kent is?
No, John.
Clark Kent's Superman, but he's...
Oh, okay.
But wait a minute. When Clark Kent is in his own city, is he a superhero? No.
He's Clark
it's
Kent.
not until he goes away, disappears, enters a phone, comes back, and then there's a freaking superhero on your hands. So.
Oh, okay.
Usually, yes. So usually they go out of area to grab people, and they are the superheroes that are supposed to come in and save the day.
All right, so talk about Team Canada. First of all, are you totally now with Team Canada trying to win this World Cup, or what happens if it's Canada versus USA in the final?
I'm kicking the living AZZ
okay.
out of the United States.
All right.
If I give you up.
Okay.
Especially because Mr. Phil Savaggio, the legend himself, no pun intended because he's not a legend, but he is a legend. He didn't pick me to play, so I want to kick the shit out of them.
Okay.
It's just like how Jurgen Klinsmann, when they played Germany, really wanted to beat Germany.
Yes.
I mean, he for real wanted to beat them. They didn't try to play for the tie like that. They wanted to go out there and beat Germany.
Yes.
So yeah, I understand that.
So,
yeah, well, imagine I'm still a player first, guys. You know that. So the fact that I wasn't selected, my desire to beat the United States is as much as the conflict between Russia and the United States in the real world.
Well, what do you think the I don't really know how the chances are between the United States or Canada, but what do you think the chances of that coming down to that being U.S. and Canada, and who do you think would win?
To be honest with you, I would have to say that the Team USA is the favorite team to win it all, or Mexico. I would say Mexico and Team USA are the top two, and I wouldn't even know which one to put first. I mean, like you could put on that, but they're both extremely strong teams. And behind them, I would put Brazil and Serbia, and I would, and then I would, rank ourselves with Canada and maybe Germany and Romania. Those two teams right behind them.
Now, are there any players on Team Canada that we would recognize from the MASL?
Freddie Mugin from Dallas. You got the Bennett brothers.
Ian Bennett.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was Canadian.
He's actually chilling at the Waza House as we speak right
Oh,
now.
okay.
I told him.
Is that Team Canada headquarters?
Team Canada headquarters is the Waza House. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, Detroit's not too far from
Taylor,
from Windsor,
Michigan, right?
So,
Well, Detroit is not too far from a whole other country called Canada.
Right, that's
true. Geography, but you know what? I told them not to go sightseeing around here because they could end up on the wrong street. And although Detroit has wonderful things here and people, I told them not to go browsing around without us.
Don't go looking for the abandoned houses on.
No, believe me, it's not
The $1 houses
Right.
that are
Yeah.
getting so famous.
What's that app that you could buy houses for $1? John, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I saw it, but yeah, you can.
Willow.
Yeah, $1 Detroit.
Don't be undervaluing our town. You can get them for $2,000, $3,000, but not $1.
Oh, okay. No, Dominic,
Well, that's what
I
they
swear
said
to
on-
God,
on
I was on
Willow.
I was on Willow one time, and I think there are $1 houses.
It was. They even said they had an
Yeah.
article on the news about
Listen,
it. How like
just
you could
because
buy a
they'll
dollar
give you
house.
a few houses, just because we can get a few houses for free,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they wouldn't accept $1. Yes.
Okay.
They are. But we're not over here trying to advertise that. Come on now.
So okay.
Okay.
Hey, we still originated the cars. What the hell did they do over there in your state?
Well, they've
New
done
York.
a
We've
couple
done a lot.
things
We're
in
the
New York.
financial center of the world.
The World Imaging Center. Cameras. You can thank us for that.
Well, yeah, Rochester specifically.
You're welcome.
That's true. When you take your Instagram photos, Dominic, that was originally George Eastman who had that whole idea.
Oh, really? Well, guess what? I already know that you guys got a hell of a lot going on, but I have to pump up and believe me, I'm going to pump up what we do here, and not by knocking you guys down, because we all know that Detroit is
It's a motor city.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's beautiful things and places and people here, but it is definitely one of the most economically suffering city in North America. But whenever a city hits rock bottom, the only place to go is up.
Well, isn't there a big rebirth going on there though?
Yes, I'm born again. I'm born again every morning I wake up, and I'm sure half the city takes that same stance. And we have a lot of interesting people and a lot of interesting things going on within the city. That's true.
All right, so let's talk a little soccer now.
All right.
This World Cup in your region, it's being held. This is in Flint, correct? Am I wrong? Where's Pirani Arena?
Say that again.
Where's
say that again.
Where's
You were fading out for.
Oh,
you
I'm
were
sorry.
Fading out, so I couldn't hear you.
Where is Pirani Arena? It's in Flint.
Yes, it's in the Genesee County area in Flint.
Okay, so I was a little bit perplexed why Flint got some of these games. Are they looking to add an MASL team possibly next year?
No, we have an agreement with them, and we decided because there's a hockey team, a minor league hockey team. I don't know if you guys follow it at all, but they're
the Generals.
They were called
the Flint
Plymouth. They were called the Plymouth Whalers. So the Plymouth Whalers were purchased by an owner from Norway who loves hockey, and he likes soccer too, because it's the obviously the two sports that the people in his region appreciate. Now he purchased the Plymouth Whalers, moved them to Flint. He purchased this 4,000 seat arena called Pirani Arena. And we met with them, with their group, and decided to bring the World Cup here because they needed, there was a need for another site. So we teamed up with them to co-sponsor being here in Detroit, but we had no idea we were going to end up doing 6 games in the Michigan area.
Yeah, it's the most games in the preliminary round are being played in Michigan. Yes,
so we didn't necessarily plan for having that much responsibility, but that's the way it worked out.
So Canada, you guys open up against Serbia tonight, correct?
Yeah, it's a little funny story. I got 3 Canadian Warriors sitting in my living room, and I have a Serbian in my house. This is probably the only World Cup in the world where I have the enemy opponent living in my house. But the funny thing is he played for me in Las Vegas, and I'm the one that helped put him on the national team for Serbia. So it's definitely an interesting story. But and I was tempted to give him a little too much salt in his meals a few times, but I love the guy, and I don't have that within me. I might be a little bit gangster from being from Detroit, but
yeah.
I love the guy.
You're not gonna try to cook him to death.
Yeah, if anything, I might
hydrate him with too much salt.
I might trip him down the stairways once or twice.
Oh, okay. Because that's nicer.
Right.
All right. So yeah, Serbia versus Canada tonight. A couple of good games tonight. United States opening up against Kazakhstan. And
You
Brazil.
guys are having a little bit of a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
I know we're on radio, but
okay. Yeah, we can still hear you. Anyways, Dominic, we just wanted to check in with you. Good luck with Team Canada.
We'll be watching.
Of course, we'll be rooting for Team USA, and we do have a big game in Rochester tonight. We have Brazil versus Russia tonight, so it should be very
all right. Well,
interesting.
you guys can be. I know we're on air, but you guys can be secret admirers of Team Canada, and I'm not going to say why.
Okay.
But if your USA team doesn't win, I know you guys will be secretly pulling for Team Canada
I
for
think
more than
so.
one.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna
You're
pull.
right.
Because hey, come on, it's North America.
Yeah.
It's North America. There's the word America. So.
I don't know. I gotta. You know what? I love Canada, but I got a little Mexico in my blood too. I really like. I've been to Mexico a couple times. I got a Juarez de Chiapas jersey at home, so I don't know. I'm gonna
But
be
Mexico
a little
is
torn.
our bitter enemy. As
In what?
In soccer.
Yeah, that's true.
As
That's
U.S.,
true.
Mexico
But
is like
Canada's-
our biggest
Canada's-
rival.
I got to be honest with you. Right now, Mexico is probably one of the favorite teams, so you're probably picking a better team. But I usually somehow I end up with all the underdogs, and I have a habit of helping underdogs win. So the guys are going to be the ones doing all the work, and I'm just going to kind of be a flashlight on the dark path here.
All right, and maybe it'd be interesting to see you running around like if Canada did win the World Cup with a Canadian flag on your back. I thought that
If
would
Canada
be a funny
wins the
image.
World Cup, I'm probably going to go with them to Canada to find something interesting to do.
All right.
Yeah.
I think go to Tim Hortons.
That's if they let me over the border.
Oh, okay. All right, Dominic. We love
You got to
having you on.
remember, looking the way I do, I've been pulled over 40 out of 40 times crossing the border.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, I told them. What do you think?
wow.
I'm smuggling soccer balls?
100% ratio. Okay, I couldn't even beat that. Wow. Okay.
No, are you kidding me? I've been pulled over. I'm not joking. 100% of the time. However, I get pulled over.
Dominic,
maybe in Canada probably 80%, but going back into America, 100% of the time they pull me over.
Dominic,
and I told
that sounds like a
them I could
lawsuit to me.
back to the border, so don't worry about it.
That sounds like a lawsuit to me. That sounds like discrimination based on your hair and your necklaces.
Well, guess what? I always say to them when I'm there, hey, let me guess. You guys are going to do a random search. And they said, yep, random. And I said, you know what? You guys are so politically wonderfully correct. And then I just roll with it. So.
Well, as long as
they think you might have a lot of duty-free stuff. Hey, did you pay for that when you came back? Are you sure you paid the taxes on that?
John, duty-free is the biggest scam there is. You save like what, 50 cents?
Well, that's
And
why it's not worth it.
They overcharge everything and then tell you the duty is free.
Right. Duty. What is duty? Is that a Seinfeld?
Yeah, it's my duty to take care of all these players, and I appreciate you guys.
All right, Dominic, you're the
all
best.
right,
Thanks
Dominic.
for coming on again.
Out and having us on the show.
All right,
take
we'll
care.
talk to you soon. Good luck tonight.
No, Matt, you know how
No,
he was talking.
I just hung up on him by accident. Oh well.
You know how he was talking about the Plymouth Whalers. The Plymouth Whalers. It's funny you said that. I'm glad he mentioned that. There's a team that you'd probably enjoy. They have one of the most humorous logos I've ever really seen. Their secondary logos. It was like a whale, and then it said ERS. Literally a picture of a whale. The whale. Then it said ERS. Whalers. Get it?
Who is the Danbury Whalers? Is that
Plymouth Whalers.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get
Well,
it.
you know, I said, yeah.
It was
There's
like,
a whale,
like a pun, it was a whale,
and then it says, yeah. I was like, really? That has to be a joke, but yeah,
all right.
the whale.
Speaking of team names, there's going to be a new AA baseball team in Hartford next year.
What are we called? Are they called the Connecticut Whale, like their hockey team?
No, they're going to be called the Hartford Yard Dogs.
The Yard Dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty cool.
I mean, it would make more sense if it was like the Camden Yard Dogs or the Bridgeport Yard Dogs, where they have like rail yards.
I don't even. Is that what it is?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you think about it, it's like look at like Gary's team.
Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
In what, baseball?
Yeah.
What are they called?
I believe they're called the Steel Dogs.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But like, yeah,
Gary's a steel town.
it would make sense, because Bridgeport's has a lot of rail yards in it.
John, the South Carolina Stingrays of the East Coast Hockey League, the ECHL, they won 21 straight games, okay? And their goalie, Jeff Jacardis, set a new minor pro hockey shutout streak record, 321 minutes and 46 seconds.
Wow.
And he just came short of the pro hockey record, which was just over 332 minutes by Brian Boucher of the Phoenix Coyotes in 0304.
That's pretty amazing.
Yes. And the Razor Sharks won Game 1 of the Premier Basketball League Finals.
Very nice.
122-97 over the Lake Michigan Admirals. Corey Allman with 30 points. And the Sharks return home for Game 2. This will be this upcoming Saturday at 1 p.m. at the Blue Cross Arena. And 3 very famous pro wrestlers, along with the Morgan Twins and another recording artist, and possibly a very famous NFL coach will be there. Tickets just $5. That's Game 2 of the PBL Finals. Come check out the Sharks as they most likely win their 7th championship on Saturday. Don't want to jinx it, but it seems pretty likely. And John, Abby Wambach announced that she will not play for the Western New York Flash this year. Thoughts?
Well, not really. I mean, she's pretty cut and dry. She's not going to play, and I think this is something that's been coming. I mean, I see her not playing internationally very much longer. I don't see her playing very much longer.
Well, this is her last World Cup, she said.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's 34. She said this is her last World Cup, and because this is her last World Cup, she wants to make sure that nothing gets in the way of that. So she's not going to play domestically, and she did mention playing on turf.
Yeah. And it's certain turf.
It's a specific turf at Salem Stadium.
Yeah, it's certain turf, and I guess without trying to hurt certain feelings, this is something that's been kind of an issue.
It has been a huge issue.
And I guess if anything, it should go to show that, the players do care where they play, and I think that their voices should be heard. I mean, it's their bodies they're sacrificing, and if it's getting to the point where players, big-name players, are refusing to play out of that much fear, I can't say I didn't see this coming. We all saw this coming.
You would hope that
we all saw this coming.
Would be a wake-up call to the city of Rochester. Because, all right, listen. The stadium was built by the city, and the city runs it. So the turf is the city's responsibility.
Yes.
And you have the best soccer player in the world on the women's side who is now refusing to play there because of the turf, because it's so old and worn and outdated that it's dangerous.
Oh, it's injuring people, especially with women. I mean, they had that big article about how it's even worse.
Yes.
And it's one of those things where, the athletes have to look out for themselves. They have to look out for their best interest, for their bodies. They have to live with these bodies. They put themselves through utter hell training and playing. And I don't think anyone didn't see this coming. I think we've seen this coming for most of the preseason. I mean,
I just hope it's a wake-up call to the city of Rochester. Most likely, nothing will get done. But it would be nice. It just doesn't look good. The turf at Salem Stadium, it does not look good.
It's just like, what can you really say about it? Because we've talked this to death.
Right.
And it's one of those...
But, I mean, it's just a shame that now, I mean, the biggest draw for the Western New York Flash is obviously Abby Wambach. She's the best.
Yep.
She's, Marta, I think, retired, right? Or does she still play?
Marta played in Sweden, I believe.
Okay. Anyways, outside of Marta, Abby is the best player in the world. And maybe even better than Marta now, right?
I don't know.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
But she's definitely up there with the top 2 women's soccer players in the world.
Yeah,
and we were lucky enough to have her play in Rochester.
And at one time, it wasn't
for
debatable.
our local team.
At one time,
for the Western New York, I think they should be known as the Rochester Flash. But the Western New York Flash, she played for our local team, and now she's not going to because of the danger of the turf. So, you know what? If they were to finally replace that turf at Salem, we could get a men's national team game. That's the only
Oh
reason
yeah,
the U.S. men have never come to Rochester.
I was gonna
is
say
because they can't play on turf.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of those things. That's without a doubt, without a question, something we could get. And I think the problem is that the city. And this is all speculation, but I think that there's a lot of not very much care for the sport of soccer from the city, and not
There isn't, and it's a shame because
you know,
all this funding is going to the Blue Cross Arena, and all this funding is going to Frontier Field, but nothing is going to support
I don't
Salins.
think that I think that soccer is still just one of those things that just slips people's minds.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're quite there yet, which is sad because this is formerly known as Soccer Town, USA.
Mm-hmm.
And even with all that, we still never really got to that point of fully. I mean, I think that if this isn't a wake up call, I don't know what will be.
Yeah.
You know, and we've said this before, but that needs to change. That's got to change.
I really wish they would have grass there. I don't think it'll ever happen.
I don't either, but I think that part of the reason they won't have grass is just because
if they had grass there, it would really be an MLS quality facility.
But then if there was grass, then you'd have the whole issues of taking care of the grass.
Right. And they'd have to pay people to take care of it.
Even though I thought I read somewhere that turf actually ends up being more expensive in the long run than grass.
Because you have to replace, probably because it costs like $1 million to replace it.
Then you have the drainage systems.
And you have to replace it every 10 years or so.
And I was reading something about that, talking about how a lot of places, college-wise, that had turf fields were going back to grass because in the long run. But, I mean, then again, for them to keep it, there must be some benefit. But, I mean, it's also, when was the last time they replaced the systems? Who knows?
At Salins, it hasn't been, as far as I know.
Yeah, who knows? And it's just one of those things. The stadium is kind of neglected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is not pointing fingers at really any one person, but we got to do better than this.
Yeah.
We really have to do better than this. We got to step up, and we got to play the part. Mm-hmm. We can't just say it's enough to have a team have a stadium.
To have the stadium.
We got to actually take care of it.
And taken care of.
I think ever since the stadium's been in, it's been controversy. Mm-hmm. It's been in the wrong place. It's been.
It is where it is.
Yes.
I mean, it is where it is. But there are some things that the city could do to improve.
I believe, we believe, but
yeah. Anyways,
all right.
And speaking of MLS, they announced that they're expanding to Miami and Minnesota, and not Sacramento. So Sacramento Republic are staying in USL.
What I find interesting is Miami has already failed. The Miami Fusion were definitely not a hit. And
but the difference this time is, do you know who's behind the new Miami MLS project?
Let me guess. A rich person from Europe.
Yes. Do you know who?
Probably Barclays.
No.
Who?
It's a former player.
David Beckham.
Yes.
Well, we'll see, because they said last time they had a team, it didn't really work out too well. So best of luck to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the difference this time is supposedly they're going to build a stadium downtown Miami.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about the? I mean, if you look at the history, look at the Tampa Bay Mutiny. I mean, they didn't do well either. I find it interesting. I mean, Orlando just took off. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, they can keep that. But MLS in Florida didn't really have a good history in the beginning days.
It did not, but I mean, I think it's definitely changing with Orlando.
Oh, Orlando, I mean, they took the ball, and they basically picked up where the Rhinos left off.
John, we got to thank some of our sponsors.
Yes, we do.
Rochester Sports and Physical Therapy, 125 Red Creek Drive, right off of Calkins Road in Henrietta. Conveniently located off of 390 is your home for all of your physical therapy needs. The physical therapists there are wonderful. I see Katie for my knee. She's been doing this for over 2 decades. Edna is also wonderful. They have all the physical therapy equipment you could ever need. Whether you need a rehab from knee surgery like me, or you have back pain, shoulder problems, sprained ankle, anything like that, give them a call, 334-8090, Rochester Sports and Physical Therapy. Here's the best part. You don't even need a prescription from your doctor for physical therapy. Most insurances cover at least 10 visits to a physical therapist for any reason. Yeah, John, seriously, whatever you got going on, man, give them a call, 334-8090. They are fantastic. John?
Our good buddy, he's not here, but 936 Portland Avenue, Joey's Place, the place to go. Don't make the mistake and take your vehicle somewhere else. go, know and trust. He's been serving the Rochester community for 5 years, and 15.95 oil changes.
$15.
50. Can you beat that? So 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6. So definitely take the chime, go there. Just don't. I made the mistake. I have to admit it. Go to Joey's place. 319-4526.
And, of course, our newest sponsor, Dr. Brown Eye Care, 880 Long Pond Road in Greece, conveniently located right off of 390, is your home for all of your eye care needs. They just expanded their office, John. It literally doubled in size.
Awesome.
The new office
Better.
is absolutely gorgeous. They have a massive selection of glasses, sunglasses, and contacts for you to choose from. I got my frames and my contacts from there. John, I smile whenever I look in the mirror. Love my frames. My contacts feel great. Dr. Brown is wonderful.
And you look happier, too, with your,
Oh, thank you.
Do.
Thank you. Dr. Brown is wonderful. He's been doing this for like 3 decades, okay? He has seen absolutely everything. Anything you got going on with your eyes, go see them. And they have
don't just trust your eyes to anyone.
Yeah, seriously.
Definitely.
Trust them to Dr. Brown at Brown Eye Care. They have a great selection of specialty glasses for cycling, golf, and tennis. Bolle is the brand. It's a really famous brand. Bolle for cycling, golf, tennis, baseball, and softball. Really high-end stuff. And they have a whole display case of Bolle glasses there for you to choose from. So if you're an athlete and you wear glasses, you really, instead of wearing, you don't want to look like Oil Can Boyd or Doc Gooden. You want
Doc Gooden.
You want to look sharp out there, So get yourself a pair of Bolles, and go to Dr. Brown Eye Care. Give them a call today, 227-7030, and tell them you heard them on Sports Mumblings. Also, the Mirage 414 Westridge Road is our favorite place to relax and check
Even
out.
on a Monday
up
night.
to 20 of the hottest chicks in all of Rochester dancing just for you. They are open 7 nights a week, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. early on Fridays. Open up at 4 p.m. for that happy hour. It is free admission and happy hour at the bar. They have the hottest girls and the coldest beer. Great pool table, great staff, really hot waitresses too. Check out our proud sponsors.
Good bartender.
The Mirage. Great bartender. She is quick as anything.
So you can even go tonight before you go to the Brazil game or after.
No, after. You're going to want to go after. You want to go to the Brazil game at the Blue Cross Arena first. That is 7 o'clock at the Blue Cross Arena. And then go to the Mirage after. Some of these World Mini Football Arena Soccer World Cup games are actually on ESPN3. The game tonight in Rochester is not, but a couple games tomorrow are on ESPN3.
That's too bad.
Or your Watch ESPN app, so you can actually watch them live.
Is the game going to be on Time Warner Sports?
It will not be, but I believe it's on Go Live Sports Cast, the same website you can find the MASL playoff games that just ended.
I really think that's one thing we need to really do for our teams is we need to get a little bit more exposure. Like the Nighthawks, I think the Nighthawks should be on TV more.
Well, I mean, the NLL does have a deal with Universal Sports. They've already been on twice this year, so. But, yeah, I do miss the CBS Sports Network.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Deal with the NLL. It's a shame they don't do that anymore.
Well, but, we all know how it works in TV.
It's based on ratings.
Yep.
Yeah. That's how it is. And also our new sponsors, the Rochester Rhinos, opening up their 20th anniversary season, April 26th at Salem Stadium, 2:05 against the New York Red Bulls 2. Season tickets are on sale now, just starting at just $99. Includes all 15 home games, plus all Open Cup and playoff games. And also includes a 20th anniversary Rhinos scarf. So give the Rhinos a call today, 454-KICK. Get your season tickets. We're going to have some prizes coming up during the season from courtesy of the Rhinos. We'll have some tickets and other stuff to give away.
You know how they talk about, when you spend money, you can't spend it twice? Well, that's a good $99 to spend.
It's a great $99.
That's a good $99 to spend.
15 to 18 maybe more nights of entertainment. Great soccer. You heard Bob Lilley earlier on the show. The Rhinos are looking good this year. I think they're going to make some noise.
And get out there, support our team. Let's bring back the atmosphere we were known for. We got Montreal back. We can enjoy hating them once again. That's a good $99 to spend.
And of course, our home network, RockSportsNetwork.com. Check out their other shows, Matt and Matt on Ice, the Big Schmaz.
Big Schmaz.
Check out RockSportsNetwork.com for all of their shows, all of their wonderful shows. And LateNightSportsRadio.com. You can find us Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. All right, guys, have a great Rochester
check out
Sports
Chamber
Week.
Boys.
Check out Chamber Boys. Go RIT Tigers.
Go
That is
Riddiggers.
the big story for this week. ESPNU, Saturday, 4 p.m. All right, we'll talk to you next week.
Goodbye.